Hello everybody, welcome to my September Gorgeous Girl Challenge. I'm here today to show you how I made this pretty layout. I am so happy that I have this beautiful stamp. This one is called Spring at Last, and it is spring here in Australia. We're starting to feel the warm, and my galahs have started coming in to my backyard. These are our wild parrots here in Australia, so it really does feel like spring. Now, this gorgeous girl is one of my first large ones, so I thought I would give her a go. Now, really happy that I have my tonic stamping platform here. It is large enough to accommodate this girl and large enough to take my traveler's notebook insert, which is fabulous. So I'm just adjusting it here, and I'm about to do a mistake straight away. You know, books when they lay flat, they're not exactly even. So even though I tried to hold it down with the magnets, the page does slide as I try to push it in against the side there, and then half of the left side of my book is bulky and hardly ever stamped, so I took off the first bits. You know, this traveler's notebook insert is falling apart anyway, so I'm about to stamp here, and the page just shifts and I do a double stamp there, and I just hate it. So I flip it over. The next page is stuck to the last one, so I flipped it over, and I actually ended up taping them down with double-sided tape. I learnt my lesson, and I moved the left part of the book off the stamping platform, which is great, and then I just had enough room there to add the rubber stamp to just the outside of the stamping platform, and I was able to stamp properly, number one, and then re-ink to get a crisp image, and yeah, saved my life. So put in the pages. Yep, there we go. So I ended up double sticking those two pages together, the ones with the double stamped image, and yeah, all's good, all repaired. So I just made a mask there. I stamped onto some paper, just normal copier paper, and I cut her out. This one's really exciting for me because I actually stamped onto my traveler's notebook. I usually stamp onto just normal white paper, and then I fussy cut off that, and then I apply it to my card fronts or traveler's notebooks. But this time my challenge was to actually stamp on paper and to create a scene in one layer. And so glad that I was able to achieve that. That fear is gone now, so very good. I'm using my blending tool here to apply some Distress Oxides. First I went with the Twisted Citron, and then for the inside, so where she's actually laying on the grass, I used the peeled paint, I think, just around the girl to make it look like it was more darker where she lay and where her shadows are. I have the stamp that I bought from Aldi stamp set, and on the bottom there's like a row of like grassy, so I applied that to my acrylic block, but it kind of stamped in straight lines, which is not very good, so I took it off the block and I kind of curved it with my fingers to make it look like the blades, the grass blades, were like circular around her, like in a more natural formation in real life. So I really love this image. It just reminds me of a girl who wanted to go out in the sun, lay in the grass, and look up at the sky. She's the way she's, you know, got her hands behind her head. It just denotes total relaxation, and yeah, this is totally what I need to do at the moment. So on the left hand side now, I'm choosing to do a scene where this is the view that she sees. So on the right hand side, this is the view that the sky sees, a little girl laying down, so from the aerial perspective. And on the left hand side, I wanted to do it so that this is what she sees. So you look up to the sky and you see beautiful sky. I'm just creating a circle mask there, and I used my circle die cuts to just die cut some copier paper because that's where I want to put my sentiment. I created this homemade kind of cloud stencil a very long time ago. I just drew out some bumpy clouds and then just fussy cut them, and I've just been using this for the last 3 years. I'm using Salty Ocean, I think, here as the first one, and I'm just moving the stencil along so you don't get the same cloud formation every time. I'm going back in now with Faded Jeans, and I'm trying to just go over the same stencil and just making it a little bit darker, and where I've missed, it doesn't matter. I'm trying not to get too much pigment. There's lots of, these pads are really juicy, so there's lots of pigment. So I'm just trying to make it, just adding another shade, and here I'm just dry, like blending here. If it gets on some of the white, that's fine, because the clouds aren't really that white. And I do go in with some iced spruce as well. I have been cloud gazing recently, and I am a bit of a cloud gazer. I see shapes in clouds. I actually see shapes in a lot of things, but and clouds really aren't white. A lot of them are gray. So yeah, that ice spruce is perfect. So as I peel off the mask, this is beautiful. I noticed that some areas were still like white, and the outline of the circle wasn't too outlined. So I did go back in and dry blend that. And then yeah, it's a perfect place for my sentiment. Peeling off the mask now for this girl, and look, I'm just so happy with this. This is my first time, as I said earlier, stamping onto one piece of paper, so really happy with that. All right, so I'm showing you what I'm using today. I'm using something a little bit different. These are my chalk markers and or chalk pencils, and I'm using a tortillon to blend, and I also had what do you call it? Like a scrubbing tool. Oh my God, I can't think. Just to yeah, just to take away where the pencil marks are. And I'm just showing you here how I'm doing it. So I'm just applying color, and then I'm blending with the tortillon, and then I'm going back in with another color, and then blending, going back in with the first color on the edges, and then with a lighter color, and then blending. So that's how, it's just a process of building it up. Very relaxing. Sanding block, that's what it is. It's a sanding block. So you sand away where the tortillon picks up too much pigment. Sanding block, jeez. So this gorgeous girl has just walked out one day, grabbed her book, grabbed her little pouch, started collecting flowers on the way in, so her blue bag, started putting flowers in her bag, then decided that it was all too much and she just wanted to lay down and relax. So she put down her book and she just relaxed onto the grass, and I really love this scene. It evokes a kind of childish pleasure for me. We do this a lot in our backyard. My son and I will get home, and then we'll just be like, let's take 5 minutes before we have to do chores to just relax, and either we play with cats outside or we watch the birds that come to our backyard, and just really enjoy the warm. We've had an exceptionally cold winter this year in Perth, and so I can't wait for the warm. So I die cut the extra elements. I colored them in, and sorry, not die cut, I fussy cut them out. And I'm just placing them here to see how I like them, and I'm just going to go ahead and apply them on. If I had thought ahead, I would have like pre-stamped them, but it's just probably easier to do it this way. So I love her little book. Her little book is gorgeous. So she's obviously a crafter. She collected a flower, and she put it in her book, and then she was drawing out butterflies. So cute. The sentiment for this is an old Graphic 45 Hampton art stamp set which I bought like 2-3 years ago from Auntie Vera. Not used it since, and I thought it was perfect. Once Upon a Springtime. And on one of the stamps in the stamp set, it says Spring at Last. So I didn't film the next part, but this is what it looks like at the moment. So the left side and then the right side. I thought I was done, and then I walked away, and then when I came back I thought I shouldn't leave that sentiment so stark, black and white. So what I decided to do was I pulled out my Nouveau Drew Crystal Drops, and I started applying a little bit of shine to the flowers. And so here we go. There's that book where she's collected, so cute, collected a flower and drew her butterfly. I added some Nouveau Crystal Drops to the frills of her dresses and the flowers. And here we go. So I did end up doing it on the sentiment and on the book on the left side there to hide a spot. I like how it looks like this, and this is the final product over here. So I'm really happy with it. I'm looking forward to spring. I hope you guys have a wonderful day today. Thank you so much for watching.